We are test driving an electric car, the all-new Nissan LEAF, the second generation Nissan LEAF, which has made a big impact globally, but sadly not in Malaysia. As you can see, we are in a Nissan. But this is not any ordinary Nissan. This is a very, very special car. Why we say it's special car is because this is a full electric car. Not a hybrid, full electric. It doesn't use any kind of fuel, except when you go and charge it and the charging station delivers electricity, and electricity is using some kind of fuel to generate it. So indirectly it's still using some kind of fuel. But it's emissions free, it's clean energy, it drives incredibly fast when you want it to. It's a great city car, and I use the word great with a lot of confidence because I've been driving it around for the last few hours. I've not been driving non-stop. I mean, I've stopped to have lunch, stopped to have a couple of meetings, and I realized something. In heavy traffic, it's a nice, comfortable car. NVH is good. You don't hear the tire noise, you don't hear the outside exterior noise. Build quality is pretty decent. It's Nissan quality. It's Nissan CBU quality, which is a little bit better than what you get on the CKD cars. No matter where you go in the world, there is always something better that's made in Japan. But that aside, you get a full electric car. I keep saying this because while I was test driving this car, I bumped into a few people, and they were electric, emission free, no engine, no petrol, no diesel. All these questions were being brought forward because why? A lot of people are still unsure about the word full electric. They still think there's a little engine inside. They still think it's a sort of hybrid, it's more like a plug-in. So I had to actually open the front bonnet and show them. Also good for me to have a look. And then you don't see the battery at the back. The boot is nice and deep, large boot. You can see the pictures. The battery pack sits underneath the car, basically where I'm sitting and where the rear passenger sits. That's where the battery pack is. But besides all that, it's about the whole electric car ownership. Now, we live in a very, I would say, unusual car market. So of course there's high taxes for cars. We're not the most expensive in Asia, but we are one of the more expensive countries. This car costs 188,000 ringgit. Now, to start with, electric cars are not cheap to make. From the factory, they're already very expensive. If you do a conversion of this car's price, say somewhere in Norway or England or say even Germany, the price is around 160 to 180,000 ringgit after conversion. Of course, they earn in their euro and pound sterling. For them, it's just a dip in the ocean. It's like what you pay for a normal car. But again, their cars made in their countries are cheaper. Not, you would say, like their national cars. So electric car ownership comes with a little bit of a premium. In Malaysia, even more, because you got to have another car in the house. I tell you why. Because this car's got great range. I mean, I've been driving it around. It's still only 83% used. By the time I send it back, it'll probably be about 70% used. But still, if you suddenly have a sick relative in Terengganu, or you have to run to see someone in Penang, there are charging stations along the way which are not very well maintained. I'll use that word, well maintained. Also, sometimes you go to these charging stations, some monkey has gone and parked his petrol or diesel vehicle there, and he refuses to move. And then, you got so many of these plug-in hybrid cars running around, they use the charging station. So, you see, a hybrid car still has an engine. So if they run out of battery juice, they still got the engine to keep them going. Now with this car, I've got no backup. My backup is a tow truck. So I have to be very careful. If I see it going down to 20%, I got to find an electric outlet, or I got to take it home or back to my office. But now I'm at 83, so I'm very confident. So this is a little bit of the downside of owning an electric car. But the upside is you get clean energy. To charge the car, it's not expensive because our electric cost here is very cheap. If you have a solar farm in your house, on your roof, then it's negligible. If you take a full charge and you're, say, working for the government, or you're an office worker who just commutes up and down every day, this will be a perfect car. Once a week you probably need to charge it, and the rest of time, you're saving on a lot of fuel. So you have your ups and downs. But if you're someone like me who's driving around, meeting people, going for events, taking cars out for test drive, you're on the move daily, this is not the best option. And I say that because if at all I'm now rushing for a meeting, or I need to go and pick up a test car, if I leave this there and it's only got 30% charge on it, and I don't have a place to charge, and I'm thinking how I'm going to get home, all the things start coming in. Then I start thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't use the aircon, because with the aircon off I use less electric power, battery power. Maybe I'll just start coasting all the way. Like now, because I know I have a full charge, I can accelerate when I want to, I can coast when I want to. So this is all the little quirks of owning an electric car in Malaysia. But go and test drive this car and get a feel of what Nissan has done to get the second generation LEAF to world-class standards. I mean, the Europeans are not even above this car. They're on par. So at 188,000, you're getting a really good quality electric car that fills all the gaps that you need in your eco-friendly life. The acceleration on a Nissan LEAF or any electric car is simply amazing. And this is why a lot of people just go cuckoo. So, it's fast. Yes, of course. Instant power. Instant acceleration. But it sucks a lot of battery juice when you do that. And if you keep doing that, you'll just run out of juice. So the whole idea is to drive, relax, go with the flow, be very, very, forgiving on the throttle, Because why? Every time you hit it, you suck the juice. And if you suck too much juice, you need to find a refueling station, which is a charging station, as soon as possible. So we are at the end of our test drive, and it's been short, it's been sweet, a few hours. We didn't use a lot of power. We traveled a few kilometers. Most important thing is we still got 80% worth of battery power left, which means that you can actually go quite far and quite fast with this car and still have decent motoring.